am Noriko Bolfo, and this is Uncut News. A group of Haitian nationals are pleading to be released from the police's so-called protective custody as they are denying accusations that they are in the country illegally. The group were detained by police in Linden earlier this week. While the police force has accused them of being in the country illegally, they repeatedly state that they have arrived legally and have even provided documentation of the same. While the police force is accusing them of having taken the box truck through Suriname, one of the detained travelers provided the media with video footage of their departure from Barbados on a Trans-Guyana Airways flight.
We come legally in the country. There's no reason for them to put us under custody, as they said. And this situation here is not custody because we don't have a good treatment. The way that we get treated by them is like animal. Like we come in this country to do bad things. No, we don't come to do that. We come like human, like we right to come. If there was a problem, since we come directly from airplane, in immigration, we were gonna have some problem. But since we come legally, we don't have any problem. So now they are saying that we come from Suriname. When they have our passport, they can see exactly the stamp and everything. How could they say that we come from Suriname? That's everything that they are putting on the news.
Police sources indicate that the Haitians' papers seem to be in order, but certain persons in the force still insist that they were the victims of human trafficking. The Haitian nationals still remain in protective custody at the Cesar Chavez Rehabilitation Center in Belize. I tell you, that story makes about as much sense as halal pork. Anyway, the Senate Judiciary Committee in the United States concluded its hearing with Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook CEO, and Jack Dorsey, Twitter CEO, after more than 4 hours and 127 questions on Tuesday. The two were grilled by Republican lawmakers regarding their content moderation, comparing it to censorship of free speech in some cases, while Democrats demanded more action on the control of misinformation, especially in the wake of the 2020 national elections in the United States. However, both parties have demanded more regulation for the social media industry and technology as a whole, regulations that will even affect how users worldwide will interact with the two platforms, just in case you were wondering why we were talking about that in our Guyana section of the news. Anyway, Nandalal has sued Jai Paul Sharma and James Bond over defamatory statements they made on Facebook, allegedly. He is seeking damages in excess of $25 million. He wants Sharma and Bond to publicly apologize to him, to remove the post, and to never let their eyes pass he again. Sharma's purported defamatory statements relate to state land giveaways, something all in government seem to just love doing. Now is the time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2011 Toyota Sienna with 7 seats, TV, navigation stereo, crystal lights, mag rims, fog lamps, rear fold-down screen, and much, much more. Pay cash for $2.5 million or pay down as low as $500,000 with $48,000 monthly, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Rose Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamaha Street, and tell them Noriko sent you to find out more about this sweet, sweet deal. The two GRA customs officers who were arrested after the recent cocaine bust have been released. They were the ones who operated the scanners on the day in question. Several efforts to recover the deleted scans of the container were unsuccessful. Nevertheless, Kanu is still looking for Marlon Primo. He has been missing since the bust. The anti-narcotics unit believes that he had already fled the country, but not to sound morbid, but he had better hope they catch him and not the real owners of that shipment. Folks, please leave the fast money life alone. Yesterday, 32-year-old cane cutter Tajram Rahim was charged with the murder of his wife, 28-year-old Amrita Rahim. Rahim was not required to plead to the charge, which alleged that he stabbed his wife to death on November 13th at their home in Rosignol. He was remanded to prison until December 29th, 2020. On Tuesday, 25-year-old porter Sean Small of Dandrade Street, Newtown Kitty, was charged with the murder of his drinking buddy, Medicare pharmacy guard Bharat Das. He was not required to plead to the indictable charges, stated that on November 5th at Newmarket Street, Cummingsburg, Georgetown, he murdered Bharat Das during the course of a robbery. Small was remanded to prison until December 8th, 2020. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your existing hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy through Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. In keeping with guidelines from the WHO, the Ministry of Health has reclassified the recent death of an 11-year-old child with leukemia as a COVID-19 related death. Before she died, she had tested positive for the disease but did not show any symptoms at the time. When it comes to the Rona, the authorities basically treat death related to it in the same way we treat AIDS-related deaths. Most people who we say actually died of AIDS actually die of opportunistic diseases such as pneumonia. But we know the only reason they even died of pneumonia is because of the HIV. And anyway, speaking of deadly diseases, it's time for today's Rona Report. Today, the nation recorded 24 new cases. The total number of deaths now stands at 142. There are now 8 persons in the ICU and 697 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 4,914. So, please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. After going viral for slapping a police officer, Mark Anthony Joseph of Nelson Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad, was granted $80,000 bail with surety. He pleaded not guilty to a series of charges, which included 2 counts of assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest, using obscene language, and littering. The matter was postponed to December 15th. The charges arose out of an incident which occurred on Friday in which a police officer issued a ticket to him for failing to wear a face mask. It's November, people. Robbery season. If I were you, I would consider getting security for the home or business. I personally recommend Sheriff Security Service. I find that they are the most professional with well-trained armed or unarmed guards. Get some security this Christmas, people. A 2-year-old boy in St. Martin was recently hospitalized after he ingested some type of narcotics. The police force of St. Martin did not disclose what the child took, but the police have nevertheless arrested his mother for child neglect. She's currently in police custody while the child's condition still remains unknown. And now for our weird news story of the day. American rapper Dupree, G.O.D., is expected to surrender to the police today after he was recorded shooting a flamethrower from the top of an occupied MTA bus in an unsanctioned stunt New York City Transit called, quote, absurd, dangerous, and just plain stupid. The police department said it was investigating the November 8th incident, which took place on a busy street in Brooklyn. Dupree said in an Instagram post that he was shooting a video tribute to the Wu-Tang Clan. Yes, the Wu-Tang Clan. No one was hurt in the making of the video, fortunately. No dust, grease, or grime stands to line when the Purple Lightning degreaser is here to make cleaning easier. Purple Lightning degreaser is a strong concentrate of cleaning agents built to ensure your cleaning needs are met. Purple Lightning degreasers are available nationwide and are imported and distributed by Caribbean Motor Spares. Call them on telephone number 609-7621. Work less and clean more with Purple Lightning. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, should the government ban horse and donkey carts? Gambino said, even though our country is modernizing, banning horse and donkey carts will definitely impact jobs and the livelihoods of people. They are also fuel efficient. And to make matters worse, once the animal isn't making money, the owners will eventually stray them, and Georgetown will end up even more crowded. Nicholas Bosdio said, taking away them donkey and horse carts and replacing them with toxic fossil fuel engines will do us no good. Besides, the animal transportation is quite economical, and with this, it also helps to reduce the amount of emissions in the air which damages the ozone layer. Additionally, I like catching a horse cart for save me pocket little bread. Hey, I agree with you, any way to save a little cash. And Jay Jiram said, clean air is good for the environment, and therefore horse and donkey carts should be encouraged. This will be good for tourism. Imagine a modern country with an old-school means of transportation. Guyana should be interested in importing electric vehicles and not necessarily cheap ones. Guyana can be a role model to reduce emissions. Good answers, people. But before I give you tonight's question, I have to tell you that Ravina's on Water Street and Anand's on Regent Street just received a new shipment of leatherette in over 16 colors. Leatherette can be used in a wide variety of applications, including covering speedboat seats, cargo, and keeping commuters dry. Ideal for minibus and car seats. Leatherette can be custom made to your seating requirements. Leatherette is easy to clean and sanitize and a better choice during the COVID pandemic. For fast and comfortable shopping, visit us to get the best prices in town. That's Ravina's on Water Street and Anand's on Regent Street. Now, for tonight's question, I want to know, what do you think about the Haitians in custody? Do you think they are lying, or is the police DPS as usual? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Thursday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.